So Kevin Durant is not playing this year. He's a star, right? And we know, he likes to talk, okay? And he should, by the way, for his brand. I mean, if LeBron James is out, is he not going to talk? Michael Jordan broke a leg once. You can talk. I like my stars, even when they're out, to talk a little. KD this morning went and talked to Stephen A. Smith. And Stephen A. Smith asked him about if Draymond Green was one of the reasons KD left the Warriors. Here's what he said.
A little bit, yeah, for sure. I mean, your teammate talked to you that way. You think about it a bit. But, we talked, like I said, we talked about it. But definitely, for sure, I'm not going to lie about it.
Well, what do you know? It was November 12th. It was a very close game. Kevin Durant wanted the ball. Draymond didn't get it to him. They argued in the huddle, outside of the huddle. It carried on into the locker room. At one point, Draymond made it personal with a slur. Draymond also said, "We won here without you." It was very personal. And I said, it doesn't matter if it's your wife. It doesn't matter if it's a coworker. It doesn't matter if it's a teammate. There are lines you cannot cross. And Kevin Durant admitting today, yeah, that was part of the reason I left. And the NBA media, and I understand why they're like this, the NBA media has to be pro-player, and especially pro-star. Why? Because you lose access. Everybody wanted to get the KD scoop net last year. Everybody wants to get the scoops where Kawhi is going, where Paul George is going, where Westbrook's going. So the NBA media has to be pretty pro-player. If you get a reputation as your anti-star, anti-player, these star players, they'll just cut you out. You won't have any access. And everybody kept saying KD's good with Draymond. They talked. It's like, no. Go back, Google what Draymond Green called Kevin Durant. Guys, don't forget that. Can't speak for women. Guys, do not. We can be petty, and a lot of times guys compartmentalize things. You can read books about this, about how guys can argue with another guy, but if there's money on the table, you and I will do business together, and I'll forgive you, and we can play together, and we can do business together, but I'm not going to forget what you said. And Kevin Durant admitting, yeah, Draymond was one of the reasons I left. So, and by the way, I love the Houston Rockets, but we're not trading Chris Paul. There is no chance. And everybody bought into it. Remember, this is a star-driven league. And in order to have access to the stars, the media often apologizes, dismisses, buys into denials that are simply not true. I don't cover the NBA. I'm not in the locker room every day. I thought Chris Paul was going to get traded, said then it was smoke fire, and I never bought that KD and Draymond were good and tight and boys, and don't worry about it. We got past it. Baloney. There are things, guys, you can say to your wife, you just don't, and don't even push it. And there's things you can say to a coworker, don't. And there's things you say at the YMCA or in an NBA locker room playing basketball to a guy, you don't go personal. Draymond, who's not nearly as sensitive as KD. KD's a sensitive cat. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Aaron Rodgers, KD, a little more sensitive to media stuff. KD's sensitive. Draymond crossed a line, and he admits it today. Yeah, that was one of the reasons I left. There you go. Be careful what you say. So, as Joy told you, Steph Curry was hurt last night, broken wrist, out. He's out to the All-Star game minimum. They may not bring him back until like March, April. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but the season's over. The Warriors have gone from a dynasty to the Miami Dolphins in about a month. In Golden State's last 6 games, dating back to last year, KD left and got hurt. Clay got hurt. Steph got hurt. The Western Conference just got one team easier, but there's actually, strangely, a great silver lining here. There is a great silver lining. Now the Warriors can showcase D'Angelo Russell statistically, go score points. Now Steph Curry, be fresh for next year. Now there's no rush to bring Klay Thompson back. Now you can check out all your young players. This is actually great. Instead of getting stuck in the middle, didn't I say I think they'd be like the 5th seed in the West? That's purgatory in this league. When I used to cover the Portland Trail Blazers, they were never top 6, never bottom 10. They were always drafting 13th, 15th, 14th, 16th, and you can't get the guy. Now the Warriors, essentially, because the West is so deep, can tank without trying to tank. They can play their young guys, Draymond, D'Angelo Russell, don't have to rush Steph or Clay back. KD's gone, see your young guys, and get a lottery pick. Bob Myers is one of the sharpest personnel guys in the NBA. They would never have gotten this pick without it. They would have ended up like an 8th or a 9th seed in the West. They would have been drafting 14th or 15th. And the NBA historically sort of runs out of stars after pick 9. There's the occasional Draymond Green in the second round, but he averaged 7 points in the regular season. Let's not make him into a superstar. Yes, there's a Tony Parker here, a Manu Ginobili there. The Spurs have a great international scouting system. But the reality of the NBA is most of your stars, with a handful of exceptions, they're in the top 10 picks. That's generally how it works, and now the Warriors will get a top 10 lottery pick. They were stuck in the middle. They're no longer stuck in the middle. And this is a great place for the Warriors because now they'll get a lottery pick. Next year, they're going to have Steph, Clay, Kevon Looney, whatever they get for the D'Angelo Russell situation. My guess is they trade him at the deadline and they get a bench guy and a starter somewhere. They need depth. And then they get a lottery pick. And in their system, young guys tend to be okay. They can play. So I think it's actually a silver lining thing. They'll get a lottery pick for a front office that knows what the heck they're doing, and a lot of front offices don't. So I think they're in a really, really good spot. I will say this. Let me say one thing about the NBA right now. So Steph, Clay, KD, Zion, John Wall, and Paul George are all hurt. And that's okay because the NFL ratings have been fine with lots of injuries to quarterbacks. 11 backups have played. The problem with the NBA right now, you've got something beyond Steph, Clay, KD, Zion, John Wall, and Paul George being hurt. You have a new culture that's accepted because Adam Silver tends to be, in my opinion, pro player to a fault, load management. So I want you to say this out loud. The NBA is a star-driven league. Stars are hurt and stars are sitting. And yesterday, one of the broadcast partners for the NBA, a place I used to work, got pissed. In the NFL, which is not beholden to players, Andrew Luck retired, Big Ben got hurt, so did Drew Brees, so did Cam Newton, Eli Manning was benched, Nick Foles, Sam Darnold gets mono. Ratings up on every network. Why? Because the NFL is not beholden to the individual star. I'm not saying David Stern made a mistake when he said, we're going to put the name on the back of the jersey and make it as big or bigger than the name on the front of the jersey. I love the NBA and I love its stars. But the NBA's ratings have always fluctuated wildly based on the popularity of their top players. Magic Bird likable, ratings huge. Barkley, Michael Jordan, ratings huge. They retire Allen Iverson, Marbury, ratings go into the tank. Spurs dynasty boring, ratings go into the tank. LeBron Cleveland teams the first time, boring, ratings go into the tank. Adam Silver has taken the baton from David Stern, and he has gone even to a higher degree, very pro player. And players now are telling consumers regular season doesn't matter. Adam Silver took away back-to-backs. He gave him a longer break for the All-Star game. And NBA players now, stars in a star-driven league. Take Saturday night off for a TV game. What? Excuse me? What? What you're telling the fans, regular season doesn't matter. That's the problem with college basketball. That's the problem with baseball. That's never a problem in the NFL. I'm not saying you don't treat players with respect. But, it's like kids. I give them an inch, they take a mile. All these injuries plus load management in a star-driven league means I'm not getting my stars. I'm not watching for parity. I'm not getting my stars. I want my stars. And if I pay $340 to take my 2 kids and my wife to a Milwaukee Bucks game on a Saturday night, I'm not doing it for the guy off the bench. I want Giannis. I want Kawhi. So I think all these injuries, Steph, another one on KD, on Clay, on John Wall, on Paul George, on Zion, and load management, Adam Silver needs to tighten it up. Some fines, some calls. Come on, tighten it up. Fans deserve stars because you market yourself as a star-driven league.